Hello, my name's Mavis Sturgis, and this is my husband, Cliff Lisi. And our verse tonight is Psalms 55:22, a great one to remember, a good promise. Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous fall. And I also like a paraphrase that's from the Message. Pile your troubles on God's shoulders. He'll carry your load. He'll help you. He will never let his people topple in ruin. Good image. King David, the psalmist, wrote this verse, and David had many problems. He was distressed. He was in a lot of danger. He called on God a lot, which is where we got a lot of the Psalms that we have. And he knew that God would help carry him through and he could take his burdens to God. What we do is try to do it ourselves, but we need to learn what David is teaching us and rely on God and give him our burdens, and then the Holy Spirit will give us strength and peace, which is great. Yeah. And then God also watches over us to protect us. The verse doesn't necessarily say that, but he won't let the righteous fall. And sometimes God looks out for us in the future and protects us from things going on or that could happen in our life. And I was thinking about that in your life, Cliff. You've had some experiences in your life that you've really had to lean on God and put things on his shoulders, and he's protected you. But what happened to you when you were 8 years old? It could have changed the direction in your life, and I feel God protected you. Tell us about that.
It really could. My dad was persuaded by some fellow when I was 8 years old to join an occultic commune in the jungles of Peru in South America. My dad sold his business, and my family moved to a small town in the jungle. And I'm deeply indebted to my mom. She shielded me in many ways from what could have been bad. There were a lot of things going on there, like spirit channeling. People would go into trances in order to regress to previous reincarnations or previous lives as they believed. It was occult. It was terrible. But and I was just 8, going on 9. I remember a lot of that. But my mom was a shield to me. God used her. She knew that that was wrong, and God protected me.
Very interesting and scary in ways.
Yeah.
And you've had many experiences in your life. And during the time you were in Peru for 11 years, you accepted Christ and then came back to Texas where you were born, and was in the military, went to seminary after you felt God's call to be a minister. And then for at least 45, maybe 50 years, you were in the ministry in Spanish churches. And through all of that, many things happened. We can't go into all of that because there were a lot that God had to help you through, and you had to lay your burdens on him at various things that happened at some of your pastorates. But 2 stand out to me that you experienced over those years, and I wanted you to share about those 2 things in your life.
Our verse tells us to cast our cares on the Lord, and he'll not allow the righteous to fall. We may fall once, twice, but he always picks us up. I was married to my first wife for 45 years. And eventually she contracted cancer and passed away. And God gave me a verse that spoke to my heart. It said, "For I will restore to you, and your wounds I will heal." And God did, and He worked in my life. And then I remarried again. And my first wife and I were married 45 years. And then I remarried, and my second wife passed away right after 2 years of being married. And I was reading my Bible one day. I was broken, as you can imagine, and I came across a verse in Psalm 71, and it says, "You who have made me see many troubles and calamities will revive me again, and you will bring me again and comfort me again." And I read that and I thought, this is the second time this has happened to me. And yet God is telling me that again, He will pick me up. And I think that's what it means. It doesn't mean that we don't go through difficult times, but God is faithful and He does lift us up.
Thank you, Cliff. Let me recap this verse. And there's another verse too, Psalms 91:11, that says, He will guard us and guide us all the way in our lives. And so He certainly has done that for you, and He's done it for me. I'm just going to read the verse once more, Psalms 55:22. "Cast your cares on the Lord, and He will sustain you. He will never let the righteous fall." Thank you for listening, and think about this promise in your life when things happen to you.